Hello, YouTubers. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do something. Um, Welcome back. Here we are, another round of Michelle McKay Yoga here on the YouTube. So I thought today we would do some standing poses. So as I come to you on these live streams, I'm going to try to provide you with different sequencings and explain why we're sequencing the way that we are. Today is all about standing poses, and standing poses are really good. They're grounding, they build a lot of confidence, and they can help you with more complicated postures like inversions. So these are good poses to get good at to help you for more complex poses, right? So let's start with our shins crossed, and we'll do some externals, and what I mean by that is hip opening, and some neutrals. What I mean by that is how the thigh bone sits itself in the hip sockets, right? So neutral, parallel, external, turned out, right? And because we'll do a little bit of both, we'll start in this position. I have a block and a towel. That might be helpful for you as well. And sometimes I like to have water. I don't have that today, but you can always have water when you are practicing. Okay, so if you are sitting like this, provided you have no knee issues, see if you can create a triangular shape within the legs, right? And you're flexing your feet, and maybe one knee or both knees will be supported. And then I want you to think about lifting up and out of the sides of your waist, right? And whatever you're sitting on, whether it's a mat, a blanket, or a block, sitting bones even and grounded. And then allow your hands to rest on the knees. If you have your palms facing up, that tends to be more energizing. If you have your palms facing down, that tends to be more grounding. So you decide where you're at today. Or you could have your hands kind of in between the base of your pelvis, so it's somewhere in between, right? And then begin to close the eyes from top to bottom, or let your gaze be forward, soft and down. Draw the navel in and up towards the spine. Lift up and out of the sides of the waist, and stack each vertebrae evenly on top of one another. Move the fronts of your arms towards the backs of your arms. And keep your chin so it's like not somewhat, but it's level with the ground, so the neck is even on all sides. And then allow the crown of the head to stretch up towards the ceiling. Try to relax the muscles of the face, relax the jaw, and really try to soften that space that's in between your eyebrows. And then draw your awareness to your breath. And maybe you feel a sense of your breath at the tip of your nose. And breathe as smoothly and as deeply as you can, in and out through your nose. Now, I'm coming at you from Orange County, California, and it's been very warm. So if by breathing in and out through your nose, you feel like you're getting lightheaded, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, right? Breathing in and out through your nose will create heat, and if you're already overheating, take that down a notch, please. Then begin to bring your hands to your heart center. Interlace your fingers at the webbing, and then press your palms forward. Draw your arm bones back into the arm sockets, and then when you inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. As the arms reach up towards the ceiling, think of lifting up and out of the sides of your waist. Press the pinky side and the thumb side of your hands evenly up towards the ceiling, and then really firm the triceps, the muscles of the outer arm, in. And as you're doing this, see if you can release your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Take an inhale here. Then when you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Look at the hands and change the webbing or the interlace, and then press your palms forward. Draw your arm bones back into the arm sockets. Keep the navel drawing in and up towards the spine. And as you inhale, float your arms up. Now, if by taking your arms up, you're letting your front ribs jut forward, bring your arms more full, right? Let the bottom floating ribs knit in towards your frontal hip points. And this way you're protecting your lower back. So the lower back can lengthen, and you're supporting the integrity of your spine. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Pause. Lean backwards. You can bring your hands to the mat. Change the crossing of your shins. Find the center of each sitting bones once again. Now we'll do a lateral flexion. When you inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. So really try to maintain that length. When you exhale, lean to your right. So the right hand will come down, the right elbow bends. And think of This side body, you can think of it like side angle pose, Uttita Parshva Konasana. Revolve the right side of your chest a little bit forward, left side of the chest a little bit backwards, and then press a little bit into the right palm so that both sitting bones stay grounded. When you inhale, bring your body back to center, reach both arms up to the ceiling, try to lift up and out of the sides of your waist. Then exhale, lean left. So now the left hand comes down, the left elbow will bend. The pinky side of the right hand kind of faces towards the floor. Now the left side of your chest moving forward, the right side of your chest moving backwards. Maybe you look up if there's no strain to your neck. Keep both sitting bones rooting down and maybe feeling a nice stretch in your side body. Again, think of extended side angle pose, Uttita Parshva Konasana. As you inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up. And then when you exhale, turn your palms out, resist your arms back down by your sides. And then uncross your shins and come to an all fours position, a quadruped position. So in the quadruped position, your shoulders right above the creases of your wrists, your hips over your knees, and ideally the tops of the feet pressing down. But if your toes have a tendency to cramp, you can curl your toes under and just try to make sure you're drinking more water. It's usually, cramping is usually dehydration. So now very simply, we'll move through cat and cow. As you inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest up. As you exhale, round your spine, dome the upper back to the ceiling. Inhale, heart forward, gaze forward, chin can lift. Exhale to round. And then again, inhale, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale to round. And then one more time. Inhale, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale to round and pause. Take an inhale, bring your back to a neutral position. And then when you exhale, bring the knees a little bit closer together. So a little bit of abs because you need core engagement to do your standing poses, right? So the core is always involved. And I'll try to sprinkle in some abs throughout the practice. So reach your left leg backwards and really flex the foot. And then lift from the inner lining of your left leg. So your left leg is straight and your left sitting bone and your left heel are in one line. And then extend the right arm forward. So feel that you have to draw the navel in and up towards the spine. You got to firm your outer hips in to sustain this position without sinking in your lower back. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, hand and knee come down. Now reach your right leg backwards. Really flex the foot, right? Try to lift from the inner lining as you lift the right leg up. So now your right sitting bone and your right heel are in the same plane and your toes are facing down towards the mat. Then extend your left arm forward as if you're reaching out to shake someone's hand, and your left arm and ear are in line with one another. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, lower the hand and knee down. So same thing, but just a little bit quicker. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower. We'll do one more each side. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower. And then inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower, pause, come back to child's pose. So in your child's pose, it's really going to depend on what's happening with your lower back. You can have your feet completely together. You can have your knees completely together. You can have the knees a little bit apart and the toes a little bit apart. So observe the sensations you feel in your lower back and do the child's pose that serves you. I'm going to make it a little bit active. So the arms are going to reach out in front of you. Remember we did that video about down dog and how we use child's pose to figure out the size of our down dog. Here we go again. So you're going to root through the mounds of your fingertips and knuckles, the heels of your hands. Keep the forearms lifted, keep the elbows lifted, keep the upper arms lifted. Keep all of that. And then inhale to shift your weight forward. Exhale to curl your toes under. Lift the legs to straight, down dog. And then let the upper arms frame your head and your neck. You're stretching your inner and outer heels down towards the ground. They may not get flat, and that's totally fine. The thighs are pressing back, kneecaps lifted, quads lifted, navel drawing in and up towards the spine. Keep the belly engaged. Very mindfully walk your hands back to meet your feet. So when you do that, it's really good in terms of protecting your lower back, right? Once you get to the back edge of your mat, you can take a hold of opposite elbows or biceps, and you're just hanging in a forward fold here. It's the beginning of the practice. The legs might not be all the way straight, but that's totally fine. We'll check back in later and observe if the legs are getting straighter. Let your head hang. Stay here for the inhale. Then when you exhale, release the hands and walk back out to down dog. So when you come back to down dog, ideally, your hands are at the front edge of the mat and your feet, are towards the back edge of your mat. You're using, I would say, at least 3/4 of your mat in your downward dog. Then join your feet together, and when you inhale, reach your right heel backwards. When you exhale, draw your knee to your nose. This is also core engagement. And then bring your right foot forward. Come up to your fingertips, or you can use blocks on either side of your right foot. And keep lifting the inner left thigh, just like we did in that extended cat-cow. Right hip back, left hip forward, and you're trying to stretch the crown of your head forward. Here we're just working on opening up or stretching the legs. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. So now if your plank is the right size, when you lift your hips up and back, you should be in the perfect size for downward dog. So draw the navel in and slowly draw back to downward dog. So you shouldn't have to adjust your hands and your feet if you're moving from plank to down dog. And then you can bring your feet together and inhale, reach your left heel backwards. As you exhale, draw your knee to your nose and then bring the left foot forward. And I just took my right foot a little bit more to the right, so I was more hip socket distance, not like a tightrope. You could be on blocks or on your fingertips. Draw your left hip back, right hip forward, and really lift from the inner lining of the right leg so that right leg is straight. Maybe keep extending the crown of the head forward as the lower back reaches towards the back heel. Stay here, inhale. And when you exhale, see if you can step back to plank, pause, then lift your hips up and back to down dog. Feet about hip socket distance, hands about shoulder width. Continue to breathe as smoothly and as deeply as you can, in and out through your nose. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, once again, walk your hands back to meet your feet in a forward fold. So now we'll take chest expansion in our forward fold. Again, your knees can be generously bent. Take your hands to the small of your back. See if you can interlace them at the webbing and stretch your arms off of your back body. Let your head hang, and maybe the belly comes a little bit closer to the thighs, chest towards knee, crown of head towards your toes. Breathe in and out through your nose. Take your hands to your outer hips. Keep the belly drawing in. Inhale, slowly come up. And then exhale, release your hands, adjust your clothing appropriately, and find your way to the front edge of your mat. So very mindfully walk towards the front edge of your mat. And because we're focusing on standing poses, let's spend some time, shoulders to face for you. Let's spend some time in Tadasana. So Tadasana is the blueprint for all of the standing poses, right? So we're going to use elements of Tadasana in all of our standing poses. I want you to lift your toes up. Spread your toes out, and then bring your toes back down to the ground. Let the kneecaps continue to lift up. Let the quads continue to lift up so the muscles are hanging onto the bone, and the femur bones are drawing up into the hip socket, right? Lift your heart and chest up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Chin level with the ground, crown of the head stretching up towards the ceiling. Keep that openness across the heart, across the chest. Chin level with the ground, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Tadasana. So if you can find elements of Tadasana in all of your standing poses, you're going to be in really good shape, okay? Now we'll come back to the front edge of the mat. Reestablish your Tadasana, grounded through the four corners of each foot, kneecaps lifted, quads lifted, thighs pressing back, lower back reaching towards your feet. Stack each vertebrae on top of each other. Lift your heart and chest up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let the shoulder blades slide down towards your waist. Chin level with the ground, crown of the head stretching out. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. So now arms raised in Tadasana. As you exhale, bow and fold. As you inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest. And when you exhale, step your left foot back so you're back to a lunge. We did this earlier, right? Now bring your right foot back to meet the left. If you need to, you can have your knees come down first. Otherwise, shift your weight forward. bend your elbows and come all the way down to the ground. Press the tops of your feet down and inhale, lift your chest from the ground as you come into a low cobra. Pin the elbows towards one another and try to draw the navel in and up towards the spine. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, lower your body down, curl your toes under, push into the ground. Inhale, plank pose. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward dog pose. So if you have your cobra in the right spot, you should be able to lift up to plank, then go to down dog. And it's, all smooth, seamless transition. And I have another video that talks about sun salutes and setting yourself up for that as well. Take an inhale here. Then when you exhale, bring the left foot forward. Then bring your right foot forward. Take an inhale to lift your heart. Take an exhale to bow and fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, stretch and reach your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift your heart. Then when you exhale, step your right foot back to a lunge. Bring your left foot back to meet the right. So you can repeat cobra. If you're ready to move on, you can move to up dog. Shift your weight forward, bend your elbows. This is chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, or maybe you repeat cobra. And then exhale as you draw back to downward dog. Try to keep your hands shoulder width and your feet hip socket distance apart. So we just do a few sun salutes just to get the body warmed up. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. Stay here for the inhale. Then when you exhale, this time the right foot comes forward, then the left foot comes forward. Lift your chest, inhale. Fold back down, exhale. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, bring it back to center. Pause and breathe. Every time you come back to Tadasana, it might feel like you're coming back to home, which is great, right? Because we're focusing on standing poses, and to be able to stand, you have to be able to balance. We'll do a balancing posture, tree pose. If you have a wall space, you could also do this pose at the wall, right? So just like you did in Tadasana, ground down through the four corners of each foot. Draw your right knee in towards you. See if you can hold on to the right ankle and then place the right sole of foot on the left inner thigh. It's definitely easier if your foot is on skin than it's on material because your foot will have a tendency to slide off. Take your arms out to the height of your shoulders. Turn your palms to face up. And then inhale, stretch the arms up. You're in tree pose. Breathe in and out through your nose. Keep drawing the navel in and up towards the spine. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Release your leg that's in tree. Release your arms, pause, and breathe. Okay, so side two, now left side. Bend your left knee. See if you can take a hold of your left ankle and take your left foot high to the right inner thigh. And if that's not working, you can always keep your foot on the floor. Take your arms out to the height of your shoulders. Rotate your arm bones in the arm sockets, and then reach the arms up to the ceiling. Tree pose, round two. Keep trying to slide your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Breathe smoothly, deeply, steadily, in and out through your nose. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, release the tree leg. Release your arms to your sides. Pause and breathe. Okay, so now take your legs wide apart, as wide as they are long. A good way to gauge that is if you take your arms out to the height of your shoulders, and where the heels of your hands are should line up with the outside edges of your outer ankles, right? Taking your hands to your hips. We'll do a couple of externally rotated poses, standing poses, and then we'll do some neutral standing poses. Typically, the externally rotated poses are easier for most students because the neutrals is a little bit more problematic for the hips. So then turn the whole right leg out deep from within the hip socket. Turn your left toes in and your left heel slightly out. And line up your right heel with the center of your left arch. Open up your arms to the height of your shoulders. Inhale here, and then exhale. Now you're in warrior two. So I can go a little bit longer. Try to keep, again, the heel of the hand over the knee and the heel of the back hand over the outer ankle. Keeping both of your arms at the same height. Bending your right knee so the right thigh is moving towards parallel to the ground and the right outer hip dropping left inner thigh lifting. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, straighten your right knee, release your arms, parallel your legs. Right? Turn your whole left leg out. Your left heel is going to line up with your right arch. The right toes turn in and the right heel spins out. Open your arms to the height of your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, warrior two, side two. And you might have one side that's stronger than the other. My left side seems to be a little bit stronger. But we're working towards getting the right and left side to be the same. So that's why it's a yoga practice. Front heel is in line with your back arch. Left outer hip dropping, right inner thigh lifting. And you're melting your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Where have you heard that instruction? In Tadasana. Finally, the last thing, or the icing on the cake, is the soft gaze to look over your left middle finger. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, straighten your knee, release your arms, parallel your legs. Okay? Outside edges of your feet parallel to front and back edge of your mat. Now turn your whole right leg out. Now we're going to do triangle. Right toes in, right heel out. Line up your right heel with your left arch. Open your arms to the height of your shoulders. As you inhale, reach towards your right side. As you exhale, right hand could be on your shin, the floor, or to a block. Left arm up to the ceiling for Utthita Trikonasana. So now I'm trying to revolve the right side of my chest forward, the left side of my chest backwards, kind of like what we did when we were in that seated posture at the beginning of the class. And then I'm pressing into the big toe mound of my front foot and the heel and little toe side of my back foot. I'm trying to stretch the crown of my head away from my lower back. And then grounded through both legs, both feet. Inhale, slowly come up. You have to use your core. Then exhale, release your arms, parallel your legs. So deep within the hip socket, turn your whole left leg out. Turn your right toes in and your right heel out. Open your arms to the height of your shoulders. As you inhale, reach out over your left side. As you exhale, left hand to shin, block, or floor, right arm up to the ceiling. Lift your kneecaps, lift your quads. Keep revolving the left side of your chest forward, the right side of your chest backwards. Feel your shoulder blades slipping down towards the lower back, like your shoulder blades could move into the pockets of the backs of your pants. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. Grounded through the feet, grounded through the legs. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release your arms and join your feet together. Right? So those were a few standing postures that were hip openers. Now we'll move towards neutral, coming back to the front edge of your mat. If you can, bring your feet together. Inhale, bend your knees, arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Ideally, feet together, knees together, thighs together. Heels heavy, toes light. And then exhale to fold. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, plant your palms. Take your feet back, lower your body down. Inhale, either to cobra or up dog. And then exhale, down dog. So a neutral posture, crescent pose. Bring the right foot forward. See if you can keep your back knee lifted and your back heel high. Bring your hands to your hips and pause here. Lift up and out of the sides of your waist. Bring your arms out in front of you. Draw your arm bones back into the arm sockets. As you inhale, stretch your arms up. As you exhale, maybe look up. Keep drawing the navel in and up towards the spine. Stay here to inhale. Then when you exhale, bring your hands to frame your front foot. Step back, plank pose. Lift the hips up and back, downward dog pose. Now bring your left foot forward. So you can keep your right heel lifted and the right knee lifted. Bring your hands to your hips and lift your chest to upright. I didn't say this on first time, but put a little bend in your back knee. See if you can get your pelvis neutral, meaning nothing is spilling forward or backwards. Like your pelvis is a bowl and you want it to be level, right? And then you can squeeze your right butt cheek to re-straighten that leg. Reach your arms in front of you. Draw your arm bones back into the arm sockets. As you inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, maybe you look up, maybe you bring your palms together to touch. And then bring the hands down. Step back to plank pose. Then lift your hips up and back, downward dog pose. Once you get back to downward dog, your feet are about hip socket distance. Your hands are separated about shoulder width. Keep breathing as smoothly and as deeply as you can, in and out through your nose. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, bring your feet forward. You can step them forward or you can hop them forward. Lift your heart, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees. Reach your arms up, chair pose. And then exhale to stand. You can bring your hands to your heart or by your side. So we're going to continue to do a few more neutral poses. Inhale, bend your knees, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, plant your palms. You can step back to plank. You can jump to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Now the right foot's going to come forward, the back heel flat. So now we're setting up for warrior one. Your front heel will line up with your back heel. Inhale your arms forward and up, warrior one. Try to get your right hip back, left hip forward. Right? Staying with the neutral focus. Now we'll bring the arms behind us, interlace the fingers with one another. Now we're moving to humble warrior. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck your chin, bow, fold forward to humble warrior. Crown of the head reaching down towards the mat. Knuckles reaching towards the ceiling. Press down through your feet. As you inhale, float right back up. Warrior one, looking up. And then exhale, bring your hands down, frame your foot, step back to plank. Lift the hips up and back, down dog. Now bring the left foot forward, right heel in and down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana one, warrior one. Then when you exhale, bring your arms behind you, interlace the fingers with each other. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck your chin, let the crown of the head stretch down towards the mat. So if you're not able to line up your front heel with your back heel, you can certainly take the left foot more to the left, the right foot more to the right. This is why the neutral poses are a little bit more challenging. They kind of feel like you're on a tightrope, but we're trying not to do that. Then inhale, come back up to warrior one, reach up, look up. Then exhale, hands come down, frame your foot, step back to plank. Then lift your hips up and back, down dog. Take a few breaths here. Try to allow your head to hang. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, bring your feet forward. Lift your heart, inhale. Fold back down, exhale. Bend your knees, reach your arms up, chair pose. Then exhale, stand, pause and breathe. Hands could be at the heart or by your sides. So we did a few hip openers, we did a few neutrals, and we did a balance. So we're just gonna do one more balance before we finish up. And the first balancing pose we did was tree pose, right? One leg was neutral in the pelvis. The other leg was externally rotated in the pelvis. So now we're gonna do eagle Garudasana. So take your arms out to the height of your shoulders. Cross your right arm over the left, so now your elbows are stacked. You can stay right there or lift the forearms up, lift the fingertips up. Bend your knees, and then see if you can cross your left thigh over your right thigh. So you can single wrap or double wrap. You could stay upright, or you could fold forward, right? But try to draw that left hip back, right hip forward. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. And if you couldn't do the wrap, you could also keep the legs in chair pose, right? Sit a little deeper, inhale. Then exhale, slowly stand up. Unwind your limbs, pause. Now take the arms out to the height of your shoulders. Now it's the left arm on top of the right. Stay there or lift your forearms up. Bend your knees, remember you could always stay in chair, or cross the right thigh over the left. One side might be easier than the other. You can stay upright or bring your elbows in towards you, folding forward. Eagle pose, Garudasana. Squeeze those inner thighs and breathe into that space that's in between your shoulder blades. Stay here, inhale. Then exhale, slowly come up, unwind your limbs, and come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Ground down through the four corners of each foot. Lift your kneecaps, lift your quads. Lift your heart and chest up, roll your shoulders back and down. Tadasana, the blueprint of all the standing poses. If you can find a little bit of Tadasana in all your standing poses, you're going to be in great shape. Now let's wind this down. Take an inhale, come to the front edge of your mat. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Take an exhale to fold. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, plant your palms, take your feet back and lower. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And then exhale to down dog. Take a few breaths. Notice if the legs are straighter, the arms are straighter, the quality of your breathing, the quality of your mind. Stay here, inhale. Then when you exhale, slowly bring your knees down and either sit on your feet or in between your feet. Hands can rest on your thighs and just observe the effects of the standing postures, how they feel in your body. Is there a connection with your breath? Is there maybe more a calmness or stillness in the mind? So as we move through these postures, as we move through these classes, notice the effect on your nervous system, notice the effect on your breathing. And hopefully the breathing is better and there's a sense of calm. One last thing to do, bring your legs out in front of you. And take your hands underneath your right thigh and draw your right knee in towards you. And then cross your right leg over your left leg. Bring your right arm behind you and reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, you could hug that knee in. You could take a stop sign position. As you inhale, try to stretch the crown of your head up. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder. And maybe you can inch your right hand more towards your left side. When you inhale, look over your left shoulder. When you exhale, unwind, free your right leg forward and straight. Now bring your hands underneath your left thigh, draw your left knee in towards you, and then see if you can cross your left leg over your right, left arm behind you, right arm reaches up. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, twist, looking over your left shoulder. So this is Marchasana, I believe, B, right? And then now the left hand is going more towards the right side. Marchasana is the name of a sage. Seated twists are good to do for unwinding, right? Looking over your left shoulder. When you inhale, look over your right shoulder. When you exhale, unwind, free your left leg forward and straight. And then slowly lean back and cross your shins, returning to how we started the class. See if you can find the center of each sitting bone. Inner thighs are moving towards the outer side, and you've created that triangular shape within your legs. And then bring your hands to your heart center and allow your heart to lift and your mind to bow towards your heart. Just giving yourself a moment and thanking yourself for your commitment to your health and your well-being. I hope you felt this class was helpful. And if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. I'm always happy to hear any comments, and I would love to take any requests that you might have. I will be doing another class that leads to inversions. And because it's been warm lately in Orange County, California, I'm probably going to do another class that's more grounding and cooling, which will have lots of forward folds and recline twists. So be on the lookout for those, you YouTubers. In the meantime, peace out, yogis, and ciao for now.